Allow me to introduce the Deputy Head of Mission of Ukraine, who will now talk a little bit about the effect that this weapon has on his country.
Well, first of all, a word of huge thanks to the amazing team from the UANI for putting together this event. The world has to be reminded that the war in Ukraine is raging on, that the country is subject to regular massive aerial attacks, and that things like this Shahed drone, continue terrorizing Ukrainian civilians. They first appeared in 2022 on the battlefield. They appeared first in singular numbers. Now they're being used in hundreds against cities, against civilian infrastructure. Each can cause devastating damage. You all probably have seen the results. Buildings leveled, apartments destroyed, whole floors in high-rises collapsed, and energy infrastructure ablaze. The scope of the damage that one single thing like this can inflict is much higher than the cost of under $100,000. However, the low cost should be our least concern. What makes these drones lethal is not the explosive warheads. It is the electronics. It is the brains. It is what turns them into such highly effective weapons. In Iranian manufactured drone, Ukrainian experts found over 100 imported components. It means imported from the Western countries. In the Russian model, Abaluga, there are about 150 of those components. We are talking about microprocessors, memory chips, GPS modules, voltage converters, power management units, flight controllers, etc., etc. It is these parts that turn this triangular flying wing into a potent weapon. And all these parts, they come from well-known, reputable Western companies, from the US, from Europe. It tells us two things. First, Russia depends on Western technology and Western parts to make anything remotely advanced. And second, in the fourth year of the war, after all the adopted sanctions, after all the tough talk on tightening up the screws, these technologies still find their way into Russia. If we are to mitigate the Russian threat, there are two paths forward. One, an obvious one, is to develop cost-effective and battle-efficient means and tools to take the Shaheds from the skies when they're being launched by Russia. The other is to cut the routes by which critical components reach Russia. On the former, Ukraine has already achieved some notable success in developing anti-drone means and tools. And on the latter, we need a more robust engagement from our partners to close existing loopholes and gaps through which Russia continues importing these parts. We have a common goal in defeating Russia, in defeating Russian imperialistic ambitions. And that goal is achievable, but it requires a sustained, a systematic, and a long-term approach. Today's display is not just about an immediate threat or a technological advances on the battlefield. It's about a choice. Every chip, every module, every circuit that reaches Russia translates into the death of Ukrainian civilians. The time to close those gaps is not tomorrow. It's long past. We have lost too much time already. So I would very much appreciate, and the Ukrainian people will very much appreciate, and your own publics will very much appreciate if those gaps will be closed now, and Russia and Iran are prevented from producing and using these kind of weapons. Thank you.